More politics. So calm down. The G7 summit starts tomorrow, and National Economic Council Director Larry Kudlow says the president is sticking with a hard line on trade. Come on in. Christian Whiton, former senior advisor to Presidents Trump and Bush 43. The hard line. Seems like it's working. We got that deal done with ZTE. I think the president maintains the hard line. What say you?
I think so. And of course, that hard line also got us a much better free trade agreement with Korea, with the Koreans accepting most of the things we sought. So far, the other countries with whom we're negotiating, including Canada, which is the host of the G7, haven't been willing to concede much. Canada has higher tariffs on us in a number of categories, including about an average of 270% tariffs on dairy. Some of that, like cheese and other dairy products, can go closer to 300%. You and I could start a lucrative business smuggling cheese and butter into Canada. But yeah, I think Trump will continue to take a hard line, and he'll get beat up for it up there.
You know, he might not sign the final communique if he doesn't like what comes at him. I mean, he's taking a hard line, and he's not going to take any lecturing.
Yeah, I mean, this shows, frankly, how the G7 has declined. Instead of real agreements for real problems, including things like, you know, you have big banks, Deutsche Bank in Germany, in trouble. You have Italy potentially pulling out of the euro. I think that would be a good thing, but virtually none of the people at the G7 will think that. Instead of discussing that, their big product is going to be what? A statement? I think it'll be a bigger mistake for the other G7 members if Donald Trump doesn't sign one. But if they persist on making this beat up on the U.S. forum, then that's what's going to happen.
Yeah, Japan's Prime Minister Shinzo Abe, he's going to meet the president today at the White House. The Journal says Mr. Abe wants President Trump to keep that pressure on North Korea. And I think he will. I mean, this is hardline 2.0, isn't it?
It is, and even though the president has changed the vernacular a little bit, no longer describing it as sort of extreme and total pressure, all of the measures that were put in place since the very first days of the Trump administration that brought North Korea to this point remain in effect. We haven't conceded anything so far. And, you know, another point of that is that Abe and Trump at the summit will have much bigger things on their mind, which, of course, is the real summit of June, which is the one with Kim Jong-un in Singapore, not so much what we're going to see in Quebec.
Here's my bottom line here. I think President Trump is exercising America's clout. We are the largest economy in the world. We've got the largest and best military in the world. We've not used it in our favor in the past, not all the time. Now it's being used in America's interest. I, for one, approve. How about you?
I do, and I think it's not so much threatening them, it's just a reality check. You know, our trade with Canada is only 2% of our GDP, but Canada's trade with us is 25% of their GDP. And they just can no longer expect to have the unfair tariff system that they have in place because we have more clout than they do.
We've reached that point, haven't we? Christian Whiton, thanks for joining us, sir. We'll see you again soon.
Thank you, Stuart.